Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today we are talking about Mahler's Second Symphony, The Resurrection. Oh my God, what a symphony this is. This was the piece that really introduced me to Mahler, and I will never, ever forget the first time I heard it. It was a recording. It was Leopold Stokowski's RCA recording with the London Symphony Orchestra, which is typically Stokowski-ish and kind of bizarre. He reorchestrates bits of it and does all the usual Stokowski things. But certainly the piece comes through. It really does. And I will never forget the first time I heard it. I mean, it was so powerful and impressive. I was reading a book. I was like 12. And I used to listen to music while I read. I used to read all the time. And I was just sitting in my bedroom, reading my book and listening to the music and enjoying it very much, but only sort of paying half attention. I mean, it gripped me. It really did. But so did the book. So I was doing both. And I will never, ever, ever forget at the moment in the finale when the chorus is doing its thing, and I'm thinking to myself, I put the book down. It's like, wow, this is really impressive. There were moments that were just so astonishing that I would stop reading. But when the chorus sings, "Was du geschlagen," and the cymbals and bass drum come in on Schlag, what you have fought for, crash, I just sat bolt upright. I was laying down, reading, and I just sat bolt upright. Nothing had ever done that to me before. It was like being hit with a lightning bolt, and I just was like, yeah, baby. So then I listened to the whole thing again without reading the book. That was some afternoon, let me tell you. Since then, however, although I still have a certain affection for that first recording, I have learned how the piece is really supposed to sound, and there is unquestionably a performance that is dazzlingly, amazingly fabulous, and it's this one, Bernstein's last one on Deutsche Grammophon with the New York Philharmonic. What are its numerous and manifold qualities? Well, first of all, I just have to also say I was at these performances. All of them. He did like 5, actually. It was a whole series of Mahler 2s. That went on for I don't know why, but there were a bunch of performances, and I had tickets to all of them. And then, best of all, somewhere around the same time, Klaus Tenstedt was supposed to do Mahler 4th, and as usual, he canceled. He was a big canceller. And so they had to substitute something. And what did they substitute? Bernstein doing Mahler 2, again, with all of the Mahler people who did this. It was unbelievable. So I went to all of these performances because I just wasn't going to miss them, not for anything in the universe. And they were just hot performances. And that was very well captured in the actual recordings. What I saw there is what I hear here. And I know there are billions of people who like to say, well, it's not as good as it was live, and I heard it live. And there's never any comparison between seeing something live and hearing a recording. There isn't. But recordings can have just as much impact. It's a different kind. It's a different kind of experience. And given the fact that this was a live performance, they captured it incredibly well. But these performances were just amazingly well played. And they were beautifully stage managed, because you've got in the finale all the offstage people and things running on and off and 10 horns at one point, and they did it all. It was the deluxe presentation. They did not skimp. All of the offstage players stayed off stage. They were extras, and they played perfectly. So you didn't have to have people moving back and forth. Everything was perfectly positioned and ready for the microphones. And, you can do it that way. And when it works, it really works. At the very end, Bernstein had lots of extra bells. Mahler wrote for 3 giant bell sound type things, but it was not entirely clear, how to realize those deep bell sounds. Well, Bernstein had big bells and little bells and tubular bells, and he just had them whacking the crap out of them the whole time. Really, it was extraordinary. And the trouble with Mahler 2, it's not the trouble with Mahler 2, it's the trouble with us, is that Mahler 2nd is an occasional piece. In other words, it's for big events. And it has to be played like it's for a big event. It has to be something that is so special and extraordinary that you have an out-of-body experience, and you do here. This is the biggest of big events. Now, some people object to the fact that Bernstein, they say exaggerates things and does stuff like that. But the truth is, he is the most literal and faithful exponent of Mahler's music, particularly. Really, there is nothing that he does that you cannot find reason for, good reason, in the score. And beyond that, he gets to the essence of the music behind the printed page. Mahler 2 has become one of those pieces, people just pull it out for any reason and do it on a sort of smallish scale, and they play it quickly, and it's just another symphony, and it's terrible when you do it that way. What was the Tovey quoted, who was it, the Egyptologist or someone who said, what could be more vile than a 2-foot pyramid? It's like these performances are like that fabulous scene from Spinal Tap, when they want to do Stonehenge, and they have a Stonehenge that's a foot tall, and it's like dancing around while they're trying to do this, evocation of Stonehenge. If Mahler 2 is not huge, if it isn't just unbelievably powerful and impressive and big and special, then it's just not worth doing. It really isn't. And boy, does Bernstein capture that spirit. It's amazing. It really is. It's not, it's a performance that's on the slow side, but it's incredibly exciting. And that's the point. It helps that he has the New York Philharmonic. He was smart in choosing the New York Philharmonic to do numbers 2 and 3 and 7, particularly in this 6 and 7 too. No, he did 6 with Vienna, 2 and 3 and 7 in this cycle because the New York Philharmonic is one of the great Mahler orchestras. Mahler was their conductor. Bruno Walter was their conductor. Metropolis was their conductor. They were all major Mahler people. So by the time Bernstein came along, they certainly knew their Mahler. And, along with the Concertgebouw and the Czech Phil, those are like the great Mahler orchestras. Not Vienna, I might add. You could force them to play Mahler, but it wasn't their natural Fach. Anyway, the New York Phil is certainly one of the great Mahler orchestras because they have that effortless virtuosity in every single section, and especially the brass, which are just fantastic, and the percussion and all that stuff. They understand the need to balance everything the right way. And you've got 2 amazing soloists in this performance. Not that they have a lot to do, but what they do, Barbara Hendricks and Christa Ludwig. What could be better than that, right? So you've got incredible solos, a very good choir. Definitely fine, and even the organ is powerfully captured at the end. And it's not a pipe organ; it's an electric organ, but it certainly got the job done. And so does this performance. It's certainly one of the greatest recordings ever. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.